Hello, good morning. I am Palaisco de la Sever from the Engineer Degrees in Business Management at Tecnológico de Veracruz, and in this video, that is a comparative activity of the sustainable development subject that we teacher Almeida González Santiago Martin, and I like to give you an introduction to sustainable development. We can understand a sustainable development, the development that meets the needs of the present which compresent the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. This focus on the proper use of natural resources and the environment. The idea is that today's society can grow by preventing and protecting the natural every moment for us by future generations. It's ascended day back to the 60s of the 20th century when the current idea of infinite recourse began to be broken. This is how in 2018 the World Commission on Environment and Development made an analysis of the economy, social, and environmental situation of the world, in which it demonstrated that the economy model of that time was destroying the environment and worsening the impoverishment of more and more people. Therefore, it was necessary to seek a new from development the world a human that to satisfy their needs which reducing the resource of future generations at risk. This new model, published by YCDE, had a name or common footer, or also known as the Brooklyn Report, in which the first definition of sustainable development was officially represented. In this, the core of the motion sustainability things has become the idea of three dimensions: environmental, social, and economic sustainability. These have been dropped in various ways such as pillars, concentric circles, or are interlocking circles, to which the International Union for Conversion of Natural used the intercentric circles model. Thus, shown that the three subjects must be better integrated, with action to reduce the balance without demands of sustainability. Well, let's talk the concept of sustainability. This has different origins that have been brought little by little from a great component of ideas and mind from the generation, inclusion, and equality, policy, as I mentioned earlier. This is how we can define sustainability as a process that aims to find a balance between the environment and the use of natural resources. The principle of sustainability emerges in the context of globalization as the mark of a limit and the things that reforms the civilization progress of humans. It's understand that development must focus on human being and the only not economy in this size. To better understand this, and strongly relates, its work highlights the basic principle of nature, which is complex and the works down context in the important sequence between the living being, the population it between, and the habitat. which nourish at its dimension at height in the stability. These principles are included in seven important points for the growth, consequence, and well-being of living beings. 1. Its principle, the first is definitive, balanced and sustainable living system. The land to move from its balance and the weight of recurse has physical space and natural recurse are limits, but out of dry and stagnant. The recurse presented over Earth are classic as permanent or inaccessible, non-remember recurses and remember recurses. The permanent or inaccessible recurses are solar energy, winds, and tides. Non-remember recurses exist in a central quantity that can be collected because they are not formed in natural or because they are formed at a lower rate than that of commissioned renewable resources are those that are represented down revenue process. They can come no remember records when resource rates, population, or neighborhoods extended by reclaiming bathing such as water. 2. First of all, the earth is made up of physical subsystems and geologic systems. The physical system is made of the layered atmosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere, while the physical system tells which the area which we hit, like being this, interact with each other, and with other physical environment. In this, there are organic materials in addition to biological processes such as photosynthesis, respiration, and the comments of organic matter, and competition between species, or better known as the food chain. 3. Limiting factor. Excessive stronger of any factor will prevent or limit growth or populations or species in an ecosystem. Even with the other factors are close to or in optimal tolerance for this space. 4. Open system. There is an open system with respect to the flow of energy. This change is due to the fact that the sun is the main source of energy, light and water, and they are in equilibrium. Closed system. The planet is a closed system with respect to the flow of water or matter, where matter is recycled and conserved. Living begins determine the change of the closed system, since by entering which their inverting, they play a regulation and a relevant role in the cycle of change matters. 6. Homeostasis. Living begins by interacting with their evolution made the omens of the planet and favorable conditions for life. The Chigan hypothesis explains that living beings manipulate or regular their evolution to science and improve deep diversity and at the same time defend and regular atmospheric changes in the ecosystem and the planet. 7. Carrying capacity. The carrying capacity of the system, together with the limit factor, determines the number of space that can be sustained indefinitely in a space area. This participle and the limiting factor determine the size of the population in this habitat. And to finish this let us remember that In itself, the definition of sustainable development is described in three sentence elements of sustainable, which are the economy, social, cultural, and environmental scenario or dimension. They are international with sustainable and ecological critical. These are areas of sustainability inherent to the concept of sustainable development, strongly related to each other. Economic scenario. It focuses on mind economy development foster optimal ways toward maximum human well-being, taking into account characteristics improves with the unveiling of natural competition or natural resources. Social cultural scenario is understood as the process of dialogical models, learning and the collective conversation, ideas, and their powers. It's about semantic development and avoid praised for the inclusion of people and the strength towards social equality. After analyzing the social economy relate of the combination, it should be clear that this will depend on the time and space in which it's proposed. To cite the topic that is that moment, an example is when it gets to replay with people get talking about is their temor is what going it at the time. Natural scenario. Understand natural scenario is the abundant collection of society. In addition, it means parsing the various forms that fall over energy takes, environmental discretes, rather that sustainability are the objects of interest in a space wide. The states, the complexity, and the factor that prevent indeterminate their ability. For example, global warming is a stance or complex environment. In science, the change that the regeneration affect environment, but very few can example it. Conclusion I that has been seen sustainability is of great importance since it's the total effect and rational administration of a resource. So that is possible to improve the world becoming today's sources which compromise the equity of life of future generations. Relating in turn the seven basic represents of natural in the same way be to make into account the sustainable development has three important aspects that must be into accounting for better future, which are the economy, social culture, and environment scenario. In itself, sustainable development gives us the benefit of compensating natural resources and is caring for the planet. In prices of growth in the development of human because if we do not take care our planet, natural disasters will happen as will as what happened on September 7, 2018 and 18.2 degrees earthing of the rich scale shock eye of Mexico, plus Chiapas and Oaxaca. That is will be take care or our planet. That was I. Thank you very much for your attention. Be very fair, friends.